Before I do begin this video, I do want to give my prayers to the people in Japan. They have been going through a lot since bringing in this new year. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck on New Year's Day in Japan. Now, 48 people did lose their lives, and the number is expected to rise. 155 mini earthquakes did jolt the area, but the main earthquake was a 7.6 magnitude earthquake. The only good news so far is that the tsunami warnings have now been lifted. What a devastating way to bring in 2024. But the news coming out of Japan does not get any better the very next day, January 2nd. I do also want to say I'm very sorry if I sound congested in this video. I'm still getting over whatever it is that I'm getting over. I don't know if it's the cold, COVID, or the flu, but I did lose all sense of taste and smell, and I'm very congested as well, so very sorry for how I sound in this video. Two planes did collide at Tokyo's Haneda Airport, a Japan Airlines plane and a Coast Guard aircraft. Now, unfortunately, there were 6 crew members on the Coast Guard plane. 5 of them did lose their lives. The Coast Guard said the collision involved one of its planes that was headed to Nagata Airport on Japan's west coast to deliver aid to those caught up in the powerful earthquake that struck on New Year's Day, ending the lives of at least 48 people. Unfortunately, the people in Japan just cannot catch a break. This Coast Guard, these crew members, were sending delivery aid to those caught up in this earthquake. Now, not only is this delivery aid not going to reach the people in Japan that were affected by this earthquake, but these crew members, 5 of them, lost their lives in such a bizarre way. But miraculously, all 379 passengers and crew on board the Japanese airline plane escaped from the fire following the collision with the Coast Guard aircraft unscathed. Even though 5 of the 6 crew members on the Coast Guard plane did lose their lives, this could have been so much worse. We on this side of the world could be waking up to news where hundreds of people lost their lives in this airplane collision. I felt a boom like we had hit something and jerked upward the moment we landed. A passenger on the Japan Airlines flight told Kyodo News Agency, "I saw sparks outside the window and the cabin was filled with gas and smoke. Fires could have even been blocking exits. I know there's emergency exits, but given the fact there's 379 people aboard this plane, a plane full of people, you have a very chaotic scene, 2 planes colliding with one another, an explosion, gas and smoke everywhere. Like I said, this could have been way worse." The Japan Airlines plane was completely overwhelmed by the blaze, despite feverish efforts by rescue crews to control the fire. Passengers on this plane stated they were swiftly taken off this plane, and it wasn't until the last passenger was taken off this plane did this plane finally go up in flame. The transport minister said the cause of the accident was unclear, and the Japan Transport Safety Board, police, and other departments would continue to investigate. The collision occurred shortly after landing. Haneda Airport is one of the two main airports serving the Japanese capital. For the time being, is currently shut down. The collision between the Japan Airlines plane and the Coast Guard plane is currently under investigation. Now, like I said, I have been doing a lot of stories on planes, not just bizarre and strange plane stories where people are either seeing something or acting like they're possessed by a demon. Terrifying stories where major airlines like United and Southwest, among others, are buying plane parts from scammers. These scammers are going to boneyards, plane graveyards, getting older incompatible parts, the most important parts to a plane like the turbine blades and the engines, selling them to the major airliners, and these major airliners are putting them on much newer planes. These older parts are meant for older Airbus that are flying shorter distances, but they're putting them on much newer planes that are flying longer distances. But the most terrifying stories that I have covered involving planes have been these near collisions, these near hits. 2023 in the United States has seen a major increase in planes almost colliding with one another. Just July alone, there was 46 close calls involving commercial flights. There were more near collisions than days in July. We're not talking about small aircraft or small planes, no. We are talking about major airliners, commercial planes, 747s and so forth. Most of these near collisions did not involve both planes being in the skies. No, one of the planes were still on the ground in the airport as the other plane was landing. And this incident in Japan can show just how catastrophic two planes colliding on the ground can be. That plane coming in is practically a missile. Hitting the other plane's fuel tank that's still on the ground can be a nightmare scenario. All those people, everybody surviving on the Japan Airlines plane is pretty much a miracle. But this is still not a happy story. There's still no happy ending because 5 families have been affected by this plane collision. 5 families are starting 2024 without a loved one. But these near plane collisions are getting worse and they are becoming more frequent. You know, I keep warning people something catastrophic is about to happen on one of these commercial airline flights. I am warning people that the media is telling us that something is about to go down, but people rather shoot the messenger. They rather say, "Minutes of horror, you're being a fearmonger. You're the one that's trying to stop us from flying. You're working with the World Economic Forum to scare people from flying." Part of my job here at Minutes of Horror is to monitor the news for any bizarre and strange news, report it back to you all, and give my take on it. I'm not looking for anything specific. Matter of fact, I'm looking more for UFOs and aliens. But there always seems to be a strange plane story trending in the news. Look at this in December, 2 weeks ago. Planes narrowly avoid collision on runway in Colorado after pilot's last-second maneuver. And like I said, we're not talking about small planes. This is a JetBlue plane. December 14th, JetBlue pilot says he took off quickly to avoid head-on crash with incoming plane. It is air traffic control that should be monitoring this. But if it wasn't for this pilot's quick thinking, this other plane just hit the tail of the JetBlue plane. Had he not thought quickly to leave the airport, this could have been very catastrophic. We could be seeing a massive loss of life. So this is the pattern we are seeing in 2023, now going into 2024. Japan has shown us with our own eyes just how catastrophic 2 planes colliding with one another, with one still on the ground, can be. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.